right. Why was Professor Clabberhead Utterbunk holding up a piece of bread? Again, we are working on inequalities. Did you know that every one of our equations and inequalities can be shown on the coordinate plane? Pretty cool, huh? We're in Algebra 1, and it's 12, 11, 12. Again, palindrome. All right, so we're going to look at number 12 because you always beg me to do the hardest one, and it's not really the hardest one, it just looks like it. So that's 4 times quantity 1 minus 3n minus 14 is greater than 4 times 2n plus 3 minus 9n. Okay? So there it is. What's an essential question you might want to ask? What would be a good question on this one? What's a good question for that kind of problem? Why? You're going to come up with it before we're done. Okay, that's our given. What do we do first? What do we do with the parentheses?
You had to add or no.
What do they call it? Yes, Carmela.
Distribute.
We're going to distribute.
Oh, that's what it was called. I forgot.
So we're going to go ahead and distribute. I'm going to go ahead and draw. Some of you call it rainbow. So I'm going to draw the arrows so you don't forget that it's... So 4 times 1 is 4, minus 4 times 3n is 12n, minus 14 is greater than, again, just treat it like, excuse me, just treat it like an equation unless you're on that last step or multiplying or dividing by a negative. 4 times 3 is 12, minus 9n. What are we going to do next? Combine like terms. I'm going to CLT, combine like terms. So I have negative 12n. 4 plus negative 14 is negative 10 is greater than 8n minus 9n is negative 9n plus 12. Okay? Then what do we want to do? You're only quiet when I ask you a question.
Oh, you asked us a question?
Then what do you want to do?
Put all the variable expressions to the left.
Put all the variable expressions on the left, okay? Variable expressions on left. Hector likes them on the left. Works for me. So we're going to add 9n to both sides. Okay, so we have negative 3n. And when you add or subtract positives or negatives, it doesn't matter. Just leave the sign alone if you're adding or subtracting. And integers on the right. Now we're going to put the integers on the right. So we're going to add 10 to both sides. Negative 3n is greater than... What did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong? I'm thinking that should be 21. Did I do some math wrong? Okay, so if I'm going to get n, now I want to isolate the variable, right? Divide both sides by negative 3. Up, I'm dividing by a negative number. So I also want to do what? sign because I'm bouncing across 0. So n is less than negative 22/3, which is not one of my answers. So let's see where we went wrong. It's great to go back and figure out where you made a mistake because it helps you learn it better. First thing I'm going to do is double check if I wrote it right, because that's one of my issues. Greater than 4, 2n plus 3 minus 9n. Okay, 4, negative 12n, negative 14, 8n plus 12 minus 9n. Positive 4 minus 14 is negative 10. Oh, this isn't negative 9n. This is negative n. Negative n, negative n. So this would be negative 11n. Okay. So this is negative 11, negative 11, negative 11. So n, it's still a negative, so that's good, I guess. So negative 22 over negative 11, n is greater than negative 2. N is greater than negative 2, so the letter is T. So what questions would you ask yourself about this problem? What questions did you answer? What would be good notes to use if you were studying for your final in January? What questions? Because this is where you study from. I need to know this. Distribute in inequalities, right? Distribute in inequalities. Flip the sign. For multiplication and division, negatives. Summary. What do you put in a summary? Aha moments. What did I learn? What did I take away? This one might be good to go back. Go back when I don't know. What else can you do? Check your work. Go back to the original problem. 4. 1 minus 3 times negative 2 minus 14. Is that greater than 4? 2 times negative 2 plus 3 minus 9 times negative 2. And work it. 4 times 1 minus plus 6 minus 14. Is that greater than 4 times negative 4 plus 3 minus plus 18? You know what I'm saying when I'm saying minus plus? I'm getting a negative negative and I'm just turning it into a plus. 4 times 7 minus 14 greater than 4 times negative 1 plus 18. 28 minus 14 greater than negative 4 plus 18. This is 7 greater than what did I do wrong again? This is 14. What did I do wrong? That's how you go about checking it that I did something wrong. Aha!